Learn from the past. Act in the present. Change the future. That's the philosophy of Cris Tales game design, according to Dreams Uncorporated CEO Carlos Silva. Those tenets are evident every step of the way while you play, but this past, present, future mentality extends beyond Cris Tales' story or combat or puzzle solving. It speaks to its place in RPG history. So let's take a deeper look at both the game and where it stands in the timeline of game development. The first thing I need to do is explain what Cris Tales is. And don't worry, there are no plot spoilers in this video. Calling Cris Tales a time-traveling RPG would be true, but it really wouldn't give you the full picture. The evil Time Empress is trying to take over the world of Cristallis, but thankfully she's not the only one with time-manipulating powers. Our hero Crisbell lives in the present, but she can see into the past and the future. As the player, you can see this too. The screen is split into past, present, and future versions of the location you're exploring. Crisbell's frog friend Matthias can even jump between these time periods using an ability dubbed the Time Hop. Time Hop. Because he's a frog. It's cute. Hop into the past and he'll crawl along the ground in his younger tadpole form. Hop into the future and you can see he gets a little heftier in his later years. Already, there's a lot going on here. Crisbell has Matthias to guide her, and luckily I've got a friend to help explain it all too. When it comes to time travel, there's really only one person I trust, and he's a doctor.
Great Scott, Tony! What did I tell you about playing those video games? There's science to be done! Oh, this one's about time travel? Consider me invested.
Time travel is used in the overworld to solve puzzles. You can plant a seed in the present, hop to the future, and bring its fruit back. That definitely beats waiting years for the plant to grow. You can also get a peek at what the future may hold for each kingdom you visit, which informs the decision Crisbell has to make at the end of each chapter. Her choices change the direction of the kingdom and the game's overall story. Time travel really shines during combat. Crisbell can send enemies on the left side of the screen back to the past, or push enemies on the right side into the future. This affects their stats, of course, but it changes their physical appearance too. It also means the team had to create 3 different versions of every foe. This will come up again later, but for now, suffice it to say this approach lends itself to some really creative enemy designs. One of my favorites is the Tricoon. Send it to the past and you'll fight its larval form before it curled up into a cocoon. Send it to the future and you'll have to face it after it's hatched into a powerful butterfly mage.
Ah, a fascinating metamorphosis!
Furthermore, you can poison an enemy in the present, then jump to the future to have the poison damage occur all at once. Alternatively, you can plant the poison in the past, which will affect everyone on that side of the screen when it sprouts in the present. So you can see how you, the player, gets to utilize the past, present, and future within Cris Tales, but the team's philosophy spills out of this one single game. Rewinding to where we started this video, the first tenet of the team's design philosophy is learn from the past. One of the clearest examples of this is the list of games that inspired Cris Tales in the first place. Carlos Silva told Red Bull, quote, "Chrono Trigger is the main influence, of course, and Super Mario RPG, which we use for the combat timing mechanics. The Persona series is also an influence for some UX elements." Chrono Trigger's influence is certainly felt, as Chrono and company journey through multiple time periods in that game. You can see how some of its battle mechanics color the combat of Cris Tales too. In Chrono Trigger, you can combine special moves, called techs, between your party members to unleash more powerful attacks. In Cris Tales, you can perform similar combinations, called synchros. As Silva stated, Super Mario RPG's timed button presses also resonate here. Both games allow you to press the action button at just the right moment to power up an attack or deflect an incoming hit. And as for the Persona influence, well, the menus seen there and in Cris Tales definitely pop.
Ah, did someone say pop? You know, Coca-Cola used to be the original secret ingredient in my time travel formula. That's true, you can Google it.
Cris Tales takes inspiration from not just RPGs of the past, but from the real world too. One of the most beautiful things about this game is the Colombian influence on its art style. Dreams Uncorporated took the landmarks of its home country and reshaped them to create the world of Cristales. This is the city gate in Cartagena on Colombia's Caribbean coast. And this is the entrance to the walled city of St. Clarity in Cris Tales. This is the Las Lajas Shrine, a basilica church built into a canyon, and this is the cathedral in Narim, one of the many you'll enter during your adventure. Even our little buddy Matthias has a real-world inspiration, the golden poison frog. These are just a few examples. Dreams Uncorporated learned from the past in terms of game design and real-life Colombian culture. So now, let's move forward.
It's time to go back to the future. No, not yet. Present first. Present.
Yes, that's tenet number 2. Act in the present. This might be the trickiest one to talk about because, well, we all exist in the present. What the devs are doing right now, how they've launched their game and patched it since release, that's the present. Here's a quote from lead producer Derek Neal to get us started, from an interview with Gaming Nexus. The main problem is consistency, and making sure the story is sensible and free from paradoxes. Our main approach to this has been to anchor Crisbell in the now. Given the eclectic mix of fantasy-style enemies and some highly futuristic technology, Crisbell's world can feel caught between time periods. But this approach of anchoring her in the now manages to give the whole game a modern-day vibe. In fact, you can spot a very current-looking car in St. Clarity. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a vehicle exactly like this driving through the streets of Cartagena today. Acting in the present also has ripples beyond this one game. Cris Tales was available day one on Game Pass, meaning anyone subscribed to that service on Xbox consoles or PC could jump right in at launch. Now, I do not do sponsored content on this channel, and this is emphatically not an ad for Game Pass. However, utilizing such a service speaks to a very modern approach for the developers here. Presently, Game Pass offers a lot of value, specifically when it comes to word of mouth. If you like what I've said and shown you so far, and you're already signed up, then you can try Cris Tales for yourself right now. I think that's pretty fantastic. And given Microsoft's current trend of snatching up studios, it's something we're going to see more and more of in the future.
It's time! Future! Time to go back to the future! There, I said it.
Change the future. Tenet number 3. You don't have to look very hard to see the changing future in Cris Tales. The decisions you make affect each kingdom along your path, and there are futuristic vibes all over the place, from the robot bosses you face to the robot guardian, designation JKR721, who joins your party. There's even a theme of automation replacing traditional workers. Just look at the robot innkeepers you meet in every town.
Welcome! A warm bed for everyone? It's only 200 marbles for the room.
Changing the future is something Dreams Uncorporated hopes to do in the real world too, and it shows. When I look at how Cris Tales is presented, essentially in triplicate with 3 versions of the world running at once, I can't help but think about what that could mean for games to come. I'm reminded of The Medium, another Game Pass launch title in which you witness both the physical and spiritual worlds simultaneously. I even think of the latest Ratchet & Clank game, Rift Apart, which allows you to yoink dimensional tears around and hop to other places in a flash. This idea of jumping between instances of a world is what I hope to see continue. It's forward thinking, and it speaks to the work ethic of the team. As Derek Neal told Segment Next, every person, every tree, every house, and every barrel has to be created at least 3 times, so you can interact with it in the past, the present, and the future. We saw lots of alternate versions of assets and enemies earlier, and they may feel normal after you've put some hours into the game, but it is impressive. The effort the developers put in to make it happen shouldn't be forgotten.
Just make sure their future selves never touch their past selves. That's how you create a tear in the space-time continuum.
The creators of Cris Tales learned from the past, taking influence from both classic RPGs and the beautiful culture of Colombia. They then acted in the present, giving the game a modern-day feel and releasing it in tandem with current trends like Game Pass. And now that it's out, they hope to change the future with an impressive work ethic and vision. This quote from Carlos Silva, speaking to The Gamer, spells it all out. We hope that we're also part of this Latin American renaissance in the video game industry. It's about what we want to say to the world. We want to see what we're capable of doing. From the outset of the adventure, Cris Tales makes a particular principle clear. What Crisbell sees when she looks ahead is only a possible future. The actions she takes in the present can change it, hopefully for the better. And Dreams Uncorporated's goal of putting Colombian game development on the map? That's a possible future too. I believe Cris Tales is a great step toward making that happen.
Hey time travelers, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what Framework is doing, definitely hit that subscribe button in the middle. It would help me out an awful lot if you do. And if you want to see what we've already cooked up, you can hit that link on the far left. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.